Hey guys, Straight Bulk here, and we're going to talk about, we're going to start talking about characters that need nerfs or buffs and shit like that. So I'm going to do videos on like the kind of universally agreed top 3 characters and what I think should be done to them. I'm going to start with Raiden, because I think Raiden is the easiest to address while also one of the worst offenders in this game as far as the things that are wrong with it. So, in my opinion, the thing that is holding this game back right now is that the top tiers are all about uninteractivity. So what do I mean by that? So when I say character is uninteractive, I mean that basically they lock you down. Everything they do is safe or plus, and the only way possible to beat the person playing said character is if they overextend, and it often comes down to they have to choose to overextend when they never have to. And I think Raiden fits the definition of this. He's like one of the strongest, like compact play characters I've ever seen in an NRS game. So the thing is, I've thought really hard about what you do about this character, because on paper he's just like, he's pretty dry and he's pretty straightforward, but I think I know the one thing that if you do what I'm about to suggest, he will not need to be touched for the rest of the game's life. Cyrax doesn't need to be nerfed, whatever. In my opinion, the problem with this character is meterless down at 3. So why is this move the problem? First of all, I want you to look at how much meter this builds by itself. Okay, three uses basically builds you 99% of a bar. This isn't factoring the chip from Cyrax that also builds meter, which gives you half a bar. So, and then that's not even factoring in his main block sequence, which is 2-4-2-1 into this. Okay, if I do this by itself, I get a whole bar of meter after 2 reps, and of course, but if I do it once with Cyrax, I get 75% of a bar. This is the problem with this character. So, what do I say we do about this? I thought long and hard, because I don't want the game to get like super nerfed. I like the power level of the game, and I like it that every character has something about them that's like oppressively good. But Raiden is like the king of uninteractivity in this game. He's the king of it. So something has to be done. So the other problem, and the reason I'm addressing this, is because he's always building these chunks of bar. This means that he always has bar for damage and bar for breaker. This character is never without breaker by the time you catch up to him if he's running away from you. And every time he hits you, he always can resource dump all 3 bars, because he doesn't need them for anything else, right? So the nerf I'm about to suggest is, I think, the smartest way to go about it. It doesn't nerf his game plan. It doesn't change anything fundamentally about him. He will still be able to do exactly what he does now, but it will change the dynamic of how he spends resources. So my suggestion for this move is that the meterless version should do 0 chip, and it should build you no bar on block. 0 chip, 0 bar if you do the meterless version of this move. I think this is fair, because this is still like the best post-poke move in the game, right? You would still be able to lock down people with Cyrax, but what you wouldn't be doing is you wouldn't be building 3 bars before 20 seconds is up. and you wouldn't be able to do 50% anytime you touch somebody, while you had the best defensive options in the game, you had the best defensive normals in the game, and you have some of the best runaway in the game. I wholeheartedly believe that this is the only change that should be made to this character. Because, like, obviously, I don't mind if EX down back 3 stays the same way it is, but as you'll notice, it actually builds less bar back than the this version. So also, if you force the Raiden to have to use down back 3 to get chip out, this is good for you, because as you can see, it completely pushes you out instead of this that vacuums you in. Okay, so I think because you had to deal with the effect of this vacuuming you in, plus everything else it does, I think that is the way that you nerf this character. It changes nothing about the way he plays. He would still have incentive to do this, to lock you down into assists, right? But he would have to be smarter about it if he wanted to do things like down one this, he would have to spend the bar to do something about it. Very short video, but I think it's all that needs to be done to this character. I've looked over all the frame data, I've thought about it. I mean, I don't like the triple low, for example, that kind of locks you down, but that's not really what the problem is. The problem is it's this move. It's this move and the fact that it just does too much without having to spend a resource even to make it do those things. So that's my personal suggestion, is take away all the chip and all the mirror build off the mirrorless version of Down Back 3. If you do that, Raiden will be fine. There's nothing else you would have to ever do to this character. I promise you this. I think any Raiden main who would honestly complain about the idea of this is not a serious person. And they're likely not a person that actually cares about what's best for the game. This would make him fair, but still competitive, if you just took the chip and the mirror build away from this right here. That's the problem. It's not the damage. It's not the safety that he has. It's the resources are just too available to him to break into dump damage on top of the chip. So that means, obviously, if you were to do that, then that of course means that all he would be able to get now is the 5 or 6% chip from the Cyrax copter, and that's it. And that's a lot more tolerable to E on block every time you block him, right? That would do a significant amount of heavy lifting if that was not a factor. So that's my opinion on how you nerf Raiden. A very simple and clean way to do it, in my opinion. It's, like I said, it doesn't change the character fundamentally. It doesn't hurt the game plan that he wants to do. But it gets rid of the overtuned aspect of this character. You know, I had other nerfs in mind, but none of them will mean anything if you don't attack this move right here. This move has to be fundamentally useless, except to lock you down to assists. It already does that already, plus the crazy chip damage it gives you, you know? So, yeah, that's my take. You make Down Back 3 when you don't spend any bar on it, just mirrorless, no chip and no mirror build, and this character is fixed. Let me know what you guys think, though, because, but I'm pretty sure this is the solution. See you guys.